Guys, welcome back to another math lesson with HKM Math and Science. This video is about finding the midpoint and length of a line, and hopefully by the end of this lesson we should all know how to find the midpoint of a line segment between 2 points, understand how the Pythagoras theorem can be used to find the distance between 2 points, and also finally be able to find the length of a line segment. So just pause the video here and take a minute to write the learning intentions and success criteria down into our exercise books. Alright, so let's start with the midpoint of a line. So the midpoint of a line segment is the halfway point between the two endpoints. So on this graph here, two endpoints are on either end here, and the midpoint is right in the middle. The x-coordinate of the midpoint is the average or the mean of the x-coordinates of the two endpoints. And same with the y-coordinate. The y-coordinate of the midpoint is the average or the mean of the y-coordinates of the two endpoints. So there are 2 points here. For the x, you just add them together, and since there are 2, they divide them by 2. Same with the y, since there are 2 y values, add them together and then divide that by 2. So your midpoint formula would be this one here. I really suggest you writing that down into your books and just taking a few minutes to process that. Alright, so keeping that knowledge and formula in mind, let's have a go at a few questions over here. Find the midpoint m, x, y of the line segment joining these pairs of points. So we have 1, 0 and 4, 4 here. Looking at that formula, it's x1 plus x2. x1 is the one on the left here, x2 is that one, so that one here. So we have 1 plus 4, I'll just write midpoint, because 1 plus 4 over 2, and there'll be y1, y2, as we see in the formula there, y1, y2, which is 0 plus 4 plus 0 plus 4 over 2. Sorry, there shouldn't be a plus there, it's just a comma. So once we work that out, we should get our midpoint. 1 plus 4 over 2. That gives us 5 over 2 and 4 over 2. Simplify that. That gives us 2.52. So that is our midpoint there. Let's have a go at the one on the right. Once again, same formula. M equals x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. Now let's have a go at that. x1 equals negative 3 plus 5 over 2, comma, negative 2 plus 3 over 2. Now working that out, that gives us negative 3 plus 5 is 2, so we have 2 over 2. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1, and 1 over 2. So that becomes 1 and 0.5. This is our midpoint here. Alright, so hopefully that's making sense to you guys. Let's go over to the next page. Just pause the video here and have a go at these questions by yourself, keeping this formula in mind, and just unpause the video when you're ready to go through them with me. Alright, so let's have a go at the one on the left. M equals x1, which is 0, plus x2, which is 4 over 2, comma, 2 plus 5 over 2, so y1 and y2. Put brackets around them, equals 4 over 2 and 7 over 2. Simplify that, that equals 2. And this one you can leave as an improper fraction, or you can convert it into a decimal, which gives us 3.5. Give yourself a tick if you got that one correct. You could have got 2 and 7 over 2 as well. And for this one, m equals negative 4 plus 2 over 2, and 1 plus negative 4 over 2. That becomes negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2, and write the denominator the same, plus 1 plus negative 4, that gives us negative 3 over 2. So that gives us negative 1 and negative 3 over 2, or negative 1 and negative 1.5. Give yourself a tick if you got that one correct as well. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the midpoint of a line, just the average of the x and y coordinates. Let's move on to length of a line. So the length of a line segment or line interval is found using Pythagoras' theorem. This gives the distance between any 2 points. So if you can see here, we're using Pythagoras' theorem to find that point, that line there. The line segment is the hypotenuse or the longest side of a right angle triangle. Remember, the hypotenuse is the longest one. And find the horizontal distance by subtracting the lower x coordinate from the upper x coordinate, so that's that one from that one, and find the vertical distance by subtracting the lower y coordinate, so that one here, from the upper y coordinate, that one there. So overall, we would need to find the two lengths of that and that to give us the distance or the length of the long hypotenuse there. Alright, so now let's have a go at finding the length of a line. So we have the question here: find the length of the segment joining -2, 2 and 4, -1, correct to 2 decimal places. So if you look at the slide before, it says find the horizontal distance by subtracting the lower x coordinate from the upper x coordinate. So we're subtracting the lower value from the higher value. So the lower value is here and the higher value is here. So we're subtracting that from that. So that gives us length of x. So x length, I'll just call it x length, equals 4 minus -2. That becomes, two negatives are right next to each other. That becomes 4 plus 2. So our length of x is 6. Now let's go to the y length. Exactly the same thing. We're subtracting the lower y coordinate from the upper y coordinate. So the lower one, that's smaller than that. So that's the lower one. So we're subtracting that from that. So that becomes 2 minus -1, which becomes 2 plus 1 because they're directly next to each other again. And that becomes 3. So our x length, it's going to look something like that. 6. Y is obviously shorter, so that's 3. And our hypotenuse is there. So we're looking for that side here. I'll call that C. So once again, the Pythagoras theorem, C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So C squared equals 6 squared plus 3 squared. C squared equals 36 plus 9. C squared equals 45. And C would equal square root 45. If you want that to 2 decimal places, you put that in your calculator. And putting that in your calculator rounded to 2 decimal places will give you a value of 6.71. Alright, so hopefully that makes sense. Let's try a question by yourselves now. Just pause the video here and have a go at this question. Alright, now that you're back, I'll do this question with you. This question says find the length of the segment joining -1, 5 and through -2, correct to 2 decimal places. So our first step would be to find the length of x. You could do the y first, it doesn't matter too much. That once again is found by subtracting the lower x coordinate from the upper x coordinate. So the lower one is a smaller value, so that is being subtracted from that. So that becomes 3 minus -1, which becomes 3 plus 1, which gives you 4. And the y length equals the smaller one subtracted from the upper one once again. So it'll be 5 minus -2, which becomes 5 plus 2, and that gives you 7. So now we have the horizontal length of 4, y or the vertical length of 7. It's not drawn to scale, and that value is the unknown. So once again, c squared equals a squared plus b squared. C squared equals 4 squared plus 7 squared. C squared equals 16 plus 49. Now let's do c squared equals, I'll just quickly put that in the calculator, 65. So c equals square root 65. And if you put that in the calculator, it will give you a value of 8.062257 and so on. And that rounded to 2 decimal places is 8.06. Give yourself a tick if you got that one correct. Alright, so that brings us to the end of this lesson. Hopefully you guys have learned something from that. And also, hopefully you guys do know how to find the midpoint of a line segment between 2 points. Understand how Pythagoras' theorem can be used to find the distance between 2 points, and also can find the length of a line segment. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys all back in class.